back to my channel. It's Polixel, and today I'm back with a sort of different type of video. So recently I've been into clayifying hairs. Like I've been, like alpha hairs, and you take them and you make them look more Maxis match. Well, I've been really into doing that lately, and I feel like I've gotten a pretty cool technique down. So I tweeted, I was like, does anybody would anybody be interested in a tutorial on how to clayify hairs? And some of you guys were like, yeah, go for it. So here we are. So this is my first tutorial, so give me a little bit of a break, guys. Bear with me. But anyways, so I'm gonna try to go as step by step as possible. I'm going to try to talk a little bit slower, but for the most part, this process is fairly simple, and you'll only need a few things. So one of them, you'll need Sims 4 Studio. You'll need this to get into your meshes and just open up the meshes and just, show them all in general. So that's one. The second thing you'll need is either Photoshop or some type of photo editor that can edit the alpha channel, because you will need to do that. The third thing you'll need is, actually, I'll just get into the rest of the things you need later, because I'll add links down below for where you can get Sims 4 Studio and all the resources we'll be using. So first thing you're going to want to do, so you download your alpha hair, right? And you're like, okay, let's clayify this. So you'll go into your file explorer, you'll go into your documents folder and go straight into Sims 4 Studio. And from there you'll go into mods, and if there isn't one, there should be a mods folder, but if there isn't, add one. And then go in here and go into alpha. Well, you don't have to go into alpha. They're not going to be organized like this, but I have mine organized, and you can go into alpha. Oh my god, you don't have to go into alpha. I'm so sorry. No. So just drop your hair in there. So I'm going to take the rest of these out just for simplicity's sake. Okay, never mind. I guess we'll leave the alpha hairs in here. So we'll take the rest of those out though, just so I can see what I'm doing. But as you can see, I have a few in here right now. So we'll close that. So now your alpha hairs should be in there, and you won't have to, if you already have Sims 4 Studio open, you'll want to close it and then reopen it. But let's just get into the good stuff now. So you'll go to create 3D mesh and then hit the cast button. And it's easiest for me, I find, if I filter the content by custom. So now you can see all of our hairs are loaded in here. So I don't really know which one I want to clayify first, for this tutorial. Let me find a fairly easy one to do here. I don't know why my voice sounds like that. That's kind of weird. I sound like a robot. Hold on. Okay, that's a bit better. So I think I want to clayify. It'd be easiest to so clayifying is fairly simple. The easier ones to clayify are straighter hairs, curly hairs, anything like that. But I think for the sake of this video, I'm just going to edit, I think I'm going to do, I had a bunch of other ones in here. I don't know where they went. I think I'm going to do this one here. So just click on any one of them and then rename it something you'll remember. So I'm just going to name this, what's the name of the file? Suki Kazi Hair Clay. And save it. I just save stuff onto my desktop because that's where I, as you can see, my desktop is super messy, so that's just where I go in. And now you'll be able to see the mesh here. So this is the mesh. It looks really weird, but as you can see, you're not going to need Blender. You're not going to need to touch anything about the mesh. You just want to export the diffusion map and just name it something. I'm going to name mine main texture. Alright, and I close that, and I'm actually going to create a new folder on my desktop, tutorial hair, just so everything is in its own folder. So now, we don't need to come back into there. I'm just gonna, oh right, since I moved it, I have to go into here, and open it from there. So you're not gonna need Sims 4 Studio anymore. So we can close that, and we can go into Photoshop, or your photo editor, but I'm gonna be using Photoshop, so if you're following along, this is the easiest thing for me. So we'll open up our tutorial hair texture. Let me scroll down. Where's that? Right here. Okay. Open up your main texture. So as you can see, it's a pretty basic little texture here. And you're probably wondering, okay, now what? So you'll go into channels and click the alpha channel. And from there, as you can see, this is what makes the alpha hair alpha. Because it's certain strands. Creators draw the little strands and they make it so that way you can go in and you can kind of just so it looks really stringy and realistic. Not stringy, but you know what I mean. So to change that, first thing we want to do is, I'm going to close this just so you can see, we want to change the texture here because this is a very alpha hair texture as well. So this is one of the things you're going to be needing. I'm going to link it down below. It is a, where is it? It's, where did I put it? Oh, it's right here. I couldn't see it. It was right in front of my face. You're going to be needing this hair swatch because this is a swatch you're going to use to make all your hairs clayified. So, it comes in all the colors, but for me personally, and just I feel like in general, you're going to want to have the color selected as dirty blonde because this is the color that's going to make recoloring easiest and it's going to make them look the best. So, you're going to need that. And, okay. So, I had to think about it for a minute. So, select this using your rectangular little marquee tool. Is that what it's called? Did I get the right name? Marquee? Wow. Okay. Then press Control-Shift-C just to copy it. We're going to go over here, and I'm going to turn on the alpha layer so I can see, and press Control-V. And from there, you're going to want to drag this and resize it so it looks like about the size of the alpha hair. Like that. Okay. Hit the check, and then you're going to want to do that with all the strands. If any of them are horizontal, rotate them, you know, just all that. Just make sure they fit. They don't actually have to fit because you can edit the alpha to make them, like, look fine, but it's usually easiest just to make them all fit. So we're going to go and do the rest of these here. Sometimes you don't even need to resize them. Like, sometimes they'll just fit naturally, so. Okay. So now I like to close the background layer and merge visible. It just makes recoloring a little bit easier for me. So now we're going to go into our alpha layer. This is the hard part. So I'm going to be doing it with my mouse actually. I've been using my tablet because I have a drawing tablet, but I'm going to do it with my mouse just to show you guys how it can be a little bit tricky, but also easy. If you have a drawing tablet, I highly recommend to use that because it's a little bit easier. It's like drawing with a pencil, but it is possible with a mouse, and it's actually not that hard. I did a few hairs first off with my mouse. So you're going to hide the RGB layer. And from there, so now your alpha, you can only edit in black and white in this. So what you're going to want to do is go into your brush tool, and you're going to want the white brush. So I'm going to start at the root up here because the roots are easiest, but yeah. Okay, so you're going to want to go into this little tool right here if you're using Photoshop, something that looks like this, right? Make sure the opacity is all the way up too. I was editing earlier, sorry. So change the size down. 14 is usually a good size, anywhere from 10 to 14 or 15. And what you're going to want to do is to make this root look fairly natural, or more Max's match, not really natural. You're going to want to go up and down and make it so that way it's very solidified and there's not a lot of, like, you want the opacity to basically be solid. Like, you don't want the opacity to look, you know, like alpha hair. So, and then what I like to do is I'll go in with the black and I'll just kind of like go on top of that. Oops. And Control-Z undoes everything if you're new to Photoshop or just you don't know. But I didn't know actually Control-Z for a while, so it was a struggle. So I feel like that looks okay. Let me fix it a little bit more here. Just make it all sort of even. Okay, so now you've got your root here. So now what you'll want to do is, I like to go into the brush tool or just like a circle brush because it makes it easiest. You're just going to want to go over any of the opacity with the white because, like I said, you don't want it to be transparent. You want it to be solid. So go ahead and I'll do the sides in a minute, but for the most part, I kind of like to do like the bigger parts first and just like make them look, you know, decent. If you don't like how you can always erase, you can always Control-Z, so just keep trying and get the result that you want. Because it'll be, as long as you want to be satisfied with it, you know. So now you're going to go down here and go into, back to this tool. I like to use this one for the sides as well because I feel like it adds something a little bit more natural, but also sometimes I'll go into this one just to get it. This is where the drawing tool would come in handy because, or not the drawing tool, the drawing tablet, Sorry. Because if you want to get those exact, like, sort of lines, it would be easier to do it with a pencil than with a mouse. But I'm pretty sure you could also use the curve tool, or you could use the marquee tool. Here, I'll show you. To make a box and then just kind of like brush like that, but that makes it really straight. So I don't know if you'd want to do that. So I'm going to go in and finish. Well, actually, I'll show you what I do with the bottom first before I do that. So with the bottom, I'll go back into this tool. I'll go up a little bit, probably to 15. And then what I like to do is I like to make strokes. So you can probably hear my mouse, but I'll make strokes down. So it's more so like that. And then I'll go from the side and down again. I try to follow the general shape of the hair, so I'm not, like, making it look completely weird, but it doesn't have to be as long as the hair if you don't want it to be, so I'm going to go ahead and speed this up, and I'm going to finish the rest of this hair, and then I will show you guys what to do after that. Okay, so I finished this strand. I'm going to finish the other two off camera, but I wanted to speed this one up and just show you guys kind of what I do and just like how I get it to work. I missed a spot. I can kind of see it. So now if we open the RGB layer, you can actually see that it's lined up with this. And also you want to make sure that your texture is lined up with the alpha so none of the hair gets cut off. So I'll usually go like that, but as you can see with the bottom part, after I was done with that, I just kind of erased it with the black like color. And also you'll see I switched to my tablet halfway through because I'm used to using that now. I'm not used to using the mouse very much anymore. So yeah. So I'm going to finish the rest of these strands off camera and then I will be right back with you guys to show you what to do next. Alright, you guys, I'm back, and I finished the mesh. It took me about, I don't know, like, what was that, like 15 to 20 minutes to do it. So, as you can see, I like to keep the ends a little bit frayed. They look fine in game. They look pretty Maxis match, but I like to keep them a little bit like that just so they look kind of, like, nice. But we're not going to actually know what it looks like yet until we test it. So, this is going to be the sort of trial and error part of your little clayifying experience. So save it as a DDS. If you have, I forgot to bring this up completely, but if you have Photoshop and you want to save your texture as a DDS, so DDS image, it's just higher quality. I'm pretty sure you can do it with PNG too, but I don't quote me on that. I don't know. So you're gonna want to get a DDS plugin. It's the NVIDIA one. Let me see if I can do it again. So DDS, let me overwrite it. So, okay. So see, this will pop up, and when this pops up, you'll just want to leave everything the same. There are plenty of tutorials online on how to get the NVIDIA DDS format, but I think you might be able to do it with PNG too, so don't quote me on that. Maybe try it, test it out, leave it down below if you can. So, anyways, so now that we have our texture here, you're going to want to go here, and we're going to import our texture, try one. I always name them like after try. So now you can see it's taken on sort of a Maxis match appearance. Oh, this actually looks really pretty. Wow. Okay. So this is what's going to be very trial and error. You're going to want to, I'm going to save mine. You're going to want to go into game and see what it looks like if you're happy with the texture or not. There's actually a part there. I want to move that up really quickly. Okay. Hold on. Let me resave that. Save this. Let's try one. Save. Import. Okay. Did that work? Might have. Probably did. I just didn't see anything. Yeah. Okay, so, but before we do that, I'm going to show you guys how to recolor. So, just because that way we can hop into game at once just to see what our recolors are going to look like. So, The reason we picked the blonde swatch in the first place, I'm going to merge this down. The reason we picked the blonde swatch in the first place is so it makes our recoloring easier. I'll link down below some Maxis Max actions as well as some, and I think it's like modified Maxis Match. They were made by QWERTY Sims on Tumblr. They're really pretty. They're really convenient too. So when you download the actions, you'll go to your little action button here, right? I've got a bunch of actions. And once you've downloaded them, you'll go into load actions and just go to wherever they're located. I think I put my old ones here. Resource, here. Yeah, so you'll get the action and then it'll be an ATN file and you'll load it into your little sidebar here. So I already have mine loaded in. So all you have to do is click on the action and press play. And then hit the save button and I'll just rename this as the black texture. It'll save, and then I'm gonna import a color palette that I have saved in Sims 4 Studio. So we're gonna apply the palette to the package, and I guess I can close that. So now we can import our black texture. It's gonna look weird for a minute. Mine always does that. So just import your black texture, and there we go. So now I'm going to hit the save button and we can go into game and we can see what it looks like and if we're happy with how it looks. Give it a minute, it's gonna save. Alright, so our package has been saved. So I'm gonna minimize everything and I'm gonna go into game and then I will see you guys when I get in there. Oh, also I forgot to mention, make sure you drop your package into your mods folder first to test it. Everybody knows where their mods folder is. I'm pretty sure. I just put mine in a work in progress folder. And then you're going to need the original texture. I don't merge mine together. So go into the Sims 4 Studio and mods alpha. This is why you want to name it something recognizable so you can copy that and paste it into your mods folder. Because since we're using the mesh, you're going to want to have that in, like, it's like making a custom content item with a game pack, and then you're gonna need that game pack installed. So, yeah, okay, I'm gonna go into The Sims 4, and then I will be right back with you guys. Alright, you guys, so we are in game, and I have one of my little modeling Sims here. So, what is happening there? I don't know. Okay, anyways, so now you're gonna want to scroll and try to find your hair. I have so much CC, I honestly don't know where it's at. But you'll want to find your hair in game. Let's see. It'll generally, if you can find the alpha hair, it'll really, oh my god, what am I saying? It will usually, that's the word I was looking for, be right next to your, clayified hair. So, or, your clayified hair, but your alpha. So see, here's the alpha hair, and then here's our clayified version. So this is what it looks like. I'm actually pretty happy with the result. The rest of the swatches are still the blonde swatches, so yeah. So actually, since I'm happy with this, I don't need to go back in and touch it up. I will finish all the swatches though. But if you're not happy with it, this is where you'd go back into Photoshop or whatever photo editor you're using with the DDS format, of course, and you would retouch it and make it look nicer. So, or just make it look how you want it. So since I am happy with it, I don't need to do that. So I can just exit my game and I could go fix it or finish all the swatches, make the thumbnail, and yeah. Okay, so the things you're going to need, I tried to list them a minute ago, but I couldn't get them right. You're going to need Sims 4 Studio. You're going to need Photoshop with the DDS plugin, which is like NVIDIA or something. And then you'll need GIMP, which is a free version. But if you look around online, you can find Photoshop for free, like, I don't know, everywhere. It's the internet, like, people do stuff like that. So, you'll also need the Maxis Match recoloring actions, as well as the Maxis Match hair swatch, which will both be linked down below. And I think that's it. Yeah. So that's all you'll need. If you have any more questions, feel free to comment down below and ask them, and I'll try to get back to you guys as soon as I can. I'm usually pretty quick on comments because I have notifications on my phone. So, I'll try to help you guys out if you run into any errors or anything. But yeah, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching again, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!